What makes the NBA truly awesome are the crazy dunks and long-range bombs. The dumbfounding moves that the sheer law of physics should be enough to constrain it. And then there's the moments that are just plain dumb. In this video, we'll talk about it. So how about we start with some stunning aerial moments. Now, I have to say I actually like this guy. In his best days, he will remind you of prime John Wall, or at least shades of the 2023 Clutch Player of the Year winner De'Aaron Fox. I'm talking, of course, about Pistons guard Jaden Ivey. I like him, but man, oh man, this moment right here really reminded me and everyone who watched it just how sad life can be. His team is already on an 8-game losing streak at this point of the season, in need of anything that will contribute to winning. They got anything but that. And to make things more depressing, they can't even have one solid fast break slam. This moment right here could have been really incredible. Remember the supposed to be an Obi top and spiteful between the legs slam right at the mecca of basketball? I mean, this Brooklyn-born, Austining High School graduate and pure-blooded New York native, after getting traded to the Pacers, has all the right motivation and was given the perfect moment to make the Knickerbockers regret the one they just gave away. But instead, we get this. For the next moment, we'll go from one athletic big to another. I'm talking about Zion Williamson, of course. You know, the guy who came in as basically the love child of Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal, but with all the athleticism. Or as some may call him, Xanos. But guess what? Even he is bound to the law of gravity. Or maybe he just freaked out by another mutant in his rearview mirror. But nonetheless, this is good for humanity. Or at least for the ego of a non-dunker like me. Well, since we touched on Xanos, why don't we just go ahead and talk about the association's actual Thanos? I'm of course talking about the man they call King James. For someone who scored the most career points in the history of the NBA and has been living in the finals for most of his career, 10 finals appearances, with 8 of those appearances in consecutive years, and basically did the heavy lifting for almost all of his teams. This man even carried his son straight to the NBA. Sorry, Brownie. But man, oh man, that missed dunk versus the Pelicans is really a reminder of why Father Time has always been undefeated, even to the best of us. From one seasoned player to another, how about we talk about Andre Drummond? This grizzled old-school big man stole the ball from Chet Holmgren, a new age unicorn in his own right, and Euro-stepped him to dimensions still unknown. And in the same season, dunked on one of the game's greatest rim deterrents of all time in Rudy Gobert. So it's safe to say that this guy is skilled enough in the perimeter and a force of nature inside the paint, and yes, he is both. Except during this game versus the Raptors last October. He tried. And even if we don't count that since that was preseason, there's still no denying that this guy has a deep resume to be a Shaq and a Fool fixture this season. How about that failed dunk versus the Cavs after he bulldozed Jared Allen? He's been doing this for years now. Those 2 missed dunks versus the Suns a few seasons ago. Also, that very saucy Euro that ended up airballing a layup versus the Grizzlies. Is he just trying to adopt his game with how basketball is played nowadays? Does he envy the advanced skills of today's big man? Is he watching too many Giannis highlights? Who knows? But could there be anything worse than this moment versus the Knicks this season? It's already bad that you attempt a showboating play while being down on your home floor. But attempting to dunk over your teammate, Torrey Craig, on a fast break and then almost injuring him? Really a night from hell, right? But the icing on top is how he injured himself and was carried out by a wheelchair, shamelessly. It's really horrible. Having the 4-time NBA rebounding champion. Yup, you heard that right. That's the same number as the big tickets and the great Bill Russell, being talked about this way. But well, at least he's not as bad as this next one. Because even with the horrendous clips of Andre Drummond I played, would you believe me that there's actually a player in the NBA that had it even grimmer? I mean, of course, this is me being very subjective, but would you blame me if I think Jordan Poole had it so much worse? I mean, is it Draymond's fault he ended up this way? Or blame Golden State for tolerating him by compensating him with so much cash and even at some point making him look like the heir of Steph's throne? Or are the Washington Wizards building a trash of a team that has no choice but to give him the keys to its offense? We can never know the root of it all, but certainly, we all had a taste of the fruits of everything that Jordan Poole is this season. Just imagine the Wizards fans watching him the entire season. How can you unsee the imbecilic alley-oop to Kyle Kuzma being down by 21 points versus the Hawks? I mean, it's already bad being down by 21 points versus the Hawks, but come on, read the room. Probably not the best time to try and put on a show. But it doesn't stop there. How about the time Poole mimicked Steph Curry during a game versus the Grizzlies? You know, taking a shot and facing the opponent's bench even before the shot goes in? It's early in the season versus the Memphis Grizzlies, a familiar opponent, right? Early in the first, an opportunity to shoot a fast break corner three, so why not? No harm, right? Fires it. Faces the Grizzlies bench. Shocker, he bricked it. How about facing the very team that traded you? Not to mention being guarded by an aging point guard whom they traded you for. A golden opportunity to hit a long-range bomb in front of the Dub Nation and get them back, right? Well, not exactly. Especially if you're ice cold to the tune of 2 for 9 from the field and 0 for 5 from downtown. As expected, airballed the three miserably. It's been really tough to the eyes watching this guy play this season. He tried to play street ball versus a 7'3" mythical creature in Boston. Remember how he tried taunting Cade Cunningham only to get blocked by a rookie Piston, Ausar Thompson? He disastrously forgot how to play basketball versus the Nuggets, failing to make a simple pass to Corey Crispert and instead handing it over to Jamal Murray. He downright forgets how to even walk versus the Suns. All right, yeah, he did fall on a wet spot. He took a bad shot to begin with, flopped, and tried to get a whistle. And the next time he got a shot right in the same spot, fell because of his own sweat. What a mess, man. It's like having a bad night drinking that ends up with throwing up on your beloved carpet, only waking up the next day and stepping in your puke. Yeah, it's that bad. All right, let's just touch on a few more quickly. Next, how about we touch on Poku, getting too excited to play versus the Cavs and inbounding the ball back to the referee. Speaking of missed passes, how about that pass from Kuminga to Steph versus the Lakers, huh? What a way to prove to your coach you are worth a starting spot. Since you stuck around this long, let's talk about some crazy trick shots last season. Did you know that there's another hippie scorer in OKC who does not have the initials of SGA? Ever seen a Josh Giddey play? Well, if you're not yet a fan, check out this shot while sitting down versus the Rockets. Eccentric, right? How about Russell Westbrook hitting a three with only one shoe? I mean, just him firing and hitting it from a distance is a miracle in itself. Him hitting it without a shoe? It's like walking on water. How about Joel Embiid's shot while falling floater versus the Pistons? By now, if you're still hoping for Joel to stop flopping, it's like asking a waterfall to flow backwards. I understand it's awful to watch a giant look soft, but, well, at least we got these types of moments. Now all those shots were lights out. How about during an actual game, the lights literally went out? Well, that actually happened the past season with the Memphis Grizzlies versus the Utah Jazz. You heard of an alien flying around for blocks and thunderous dunks for the Spurs last season, but how about a bat just flying around? Well, that happened too. And while the Lakers have a king who continues to turn back the clock, their home court now has other clock problems. I'm talking, of course, about their 24-second clock malfunctioning numerous times. We have a young coach trying to block an opposing team's player in Joe Mazzulla. A well-seasoned coach trying to brush up his shooting stroke in Greg Popovich. Man, what a crazy season we had. What unforgettable moments did you think were the craziest? Let me know in the comments below, and if you want to see more basketball content, consider subscribing.